Good morning, Muscatine. We are back from Easter weekend. Hope you had a good one. Got to spend some time with your family and friends. It's going to be a busy week here. We've got a whole bunch of guests lined up. Today it's not Megan Monday. It's Muskie Mania Monday, maybe. We'll go with that. We have two groups here from the school district that are doing some pretty awesome stuff. So we're just going to jump right into it. The first group we have here is Daphne Donald and friends for Muscatine Race for the Schools.
Right.
How are you guys?
Good.
Could you guys introduce yourselves real quick?
Sure. I'm Daphne Donald, and I'm the volunteer race director.
I'm Emily Hopkins, and I'm the female overall race for the school.
I'm Garrick Fillmore, and I'm the male overall race for the school winner for the Muskie Mile.
Yeah, I remember last year we were there taking pictures. Was that last year? Yeah, that was last year. Yeah, and you guys were just like flying across, and there's thousands of pictures from last year floating around, like crazy number.
Yes.
So here's the thing: this year's race for the schools is a decade of running, but I don't think these guys are old enough to have been running for a decade. Have you? No.
Unless I was running since I was 3.
Unless you were running since you were 3. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Were you? I mean, you could have walked by then.
No.
No. Okay. How long have you guys been? How many have you done? Do you know?
I think I started running the 2019 one, and then
Gotcha.
I think we stopped COVID and then came back after.
Gotcha. How long have you been running?
I've been running since 2018.
Gotcha. So like 4 years. Gotcha. Daphne, don't ask me that. I'm there. I go. I'm there.
Right.
I don't run. I watch them run. I cheer them on. Take pictures.
These two did an awesome job
Yeah.
last year, and they both mentioned they were overall winners for the Muskie Mile,
Yep.
and they both 6:29. I wrote it down at 6:52. That's a very fast mile. And I know we have the Muskie Challenge where if you sign up for both races, run the mile and the 5K, we have an extra award for that. And I think you guys are considering that this year, running both. Are you nervous about that? Do you want to?
I'm a little bit nervous because, I feel like I'm gonna be a little worn out for from the mile, and then I'll be a little bit tired in the 5K.
Gotcha.
I'm not nervous for the runs. I'm nervous for the days after the runs.
Well, hey,
Mostly.
and since obviously I should qualify everybody. Remember, there's no school today, so they're not missing out on school. And my son Wyatt sitting behind the cameras. Hey, Wyatt, he is not listening. I'm pretty sure that is. Hey, did you run both last year in the Muskie? Did you do the mile and the 5K? You did, didn't you? I thought so. Yeah. I mean, he's a 5th grader, so you guys should be able to do it, right? Yeah, you'll be all right. Now, granted, he was absolutely dead the rest of the day, which was kind of nice. I'll bet your parents would like it if you ran both. So, Daphne, how did this all get started? We've been doing it for 10 years. How did it all get started? What do we do it for?
The first year in 2013, it was just a lot of us were running, and the two race directors at the time, Jason Wester and Kristen Manjoin, we had done other races that featured schools, and so they started this one. We've done lots of different things over the years. We've had one year that we added a 10K. The first year, we thought it would be fun, but it wasn't practical to run past every school. That was kind of what we were thinking.
Oh,
It would involve more than a 5K, though.
yeah, that'd be a lot. By
Yeah.
the time you got over to
Yeah.
the early learning center and
Right.
then down to
Right. You'd
Whew.
probably be doing a half marathon if we got every
Yeah.
school. But the first year they went and left the front of the high school and went around through what's now Susan Clark and McKinley. And so we did try to get past several schools. And then a couple of years ago, we changed the route to go down Mulberry. We do an out and back. So we visit a few schools. But
So for the 5K, it should be, down to about the district admin building?
we have to go past that
little bit?
because we moved the starting line to the front of the school. It changed a little bit of the route. You
Gotcha.
actually have to go past Weir Street, which if people that have done the race in the past, that was a little hard for them last year. They were ready to turn around at Weir. You couldn't do that. You had to keep going. We have a cone set out, so it'll
Gotcha.
be real obvious when it's time to turn around.
Gotcha.
But it feels like it's a lot longer, but it's not. It's a 5K. So
That
Yeah.
makes it sound even worse. You're supposed to say like it doesn't seem that long at all.
It doesn't.
It
It's
seems
really,
like
it's a pretty
running-
nice race, a nice
you're
out
running-
and back.
Well, and
pretty flat.
it's all pretty flat. Yeah.
Pretty flat, yeah.
Um,
We do the Muskie Mile first at 8 o'clock. We have a few minutes rest in between. The Muskie Mile stays pretty much in the parking lot of the high school, goes out to Bonnie Drive and back. And both races, we go out one way and come back so that you have a little bit of a downhill with the ramp. So you got a nice fast finish. Just have to watch out for there's a couple of speed bumps towards the end.
There is, yes.
You have to be aware.
Yeah, there is. And, what was cool last year is, so we were sitting there with the cameras right at the finish line, or just behind the finish line. So, and you would see people coming in those speed bumps you could see them. They're yellow, but every once in a while people would not fully stumble, but just
Right.
oh, geez, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
And
speed bump.
we've never had an issue, but it is kind of, if you're running fast, you just have to think about. I have seen people go around them. You can do
It's
that.
almost like hurdles. You just call it a hurdle 5K with 2 hurdles, right?
Right.
So, are you guys doing the school-based challenge again? How does that work?
Absolutely. Do you guys know about the challenge? It's a participation challenge.
Yeah. How does it work?
So it goes, each school participates, and it's the most students who sign up. The school that has the most students sign up for the races will get a prize.
Yeah, I always thought, and actually it was that guy that pointed this out. That's kind of a stacked competition. Because some of the schools are a little bigger than some of the others, and Mulberry's like the smallest. Mm-hmm. And if I'm looking at this right, I'm looking at the challenge board right now. Is Mulberry in first?
Yes.
All right. They're beating the high school. How are they beating the high school? The high school's got 10 times as many kids. Well, that ought to be interesting.
Participation. I would say, Gary, the participation is if you sign up for the race or if you volunteer, because we had a lot of parents and staff that were volunteering but still wanted to represent their school. So we absolutely let them write down, you get to just check the box which school. And you're right, the high school is a lot bigger, but Mulberry's in first place right now. And if you look at our website, traditionally it's been a battle between a couple of the elementary schools. And it's all about getting the word out.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest thing. If you have someone that's really motivated and wants to get a team together, that's what our hope is, that each school would have a team and encourage people to run or walk.
Well, so looking at this, it looks like the first 3 years were Mulberry, then 4 years of Colorado. Colorado doesn't count anymore because they're just long gone. And then 2 years of Madison.
Right.
So I think that means Mulberry is the all-time leader because we're just throwing Colorado out the window, right? So I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not biased at all. Sorry.
Right.
No. So you guys are in middle school now, right? So I noticed Susan Clark's not on here anywhere. You guys going to go rally up some kids?
Try.
So what do you guys enjoy the most about Race for the Schools?
I enjoy the community setting about it. Everyone is there to support each other, and there's no harsh feelings after a race. I talked to the guy that got second on the Muskie Mile, and he was all nice, and it was just fun talking to him. And it's a really good environment. There's a golf cart if you're in first to help guide you around. That's nice. Just to have a wind block and stuff. And then
Wait, so you were drafting off the golf cart, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smart.
Yeah.
And then there's snacks after the race, and they always get your times down, so you don't ever have to worry what I get my time,
Yep.
or what was my time.
Yep.
And it's just a super family fun community. I think that's my favorite part about it.
Got it. What about you?
My favorite part is that everyone's there to cheer for you at the end and tell you can do it. And even if you slow down, they're still encouraging you to keep on going, and you got this.
Well, and that was one of the nice things about this race, and a lot of these 5Ks in Muscatine is they end at the same place they start. So it makes it really easy to, as a fan or somebody watching and motivating somebody that's running, Okay, yeah, the middle kind of stinks because there's not a lot of people out there. But you're starting off with a lot and ending with a lot of support. So, let's see. Go ahead. Yeah.
One thing I would say, which Garrick talked about too, there is a lot of community support. We have businesses that sponsor the race so that we can keep costs down. We have a lot of people involved with volunteering, and so that's really fun. We do a poster contest, so we have a lot of kids that make posters, and we'll hang those up at the end so you can see those. But our main thing is to get people out, active, running, having fun. And we do chip timing, so you can get your results immediately. You can get a little printout, and that's really nice too. We appreciate that.
And there is stuff for everybody to do while everybody's running.
Sure.
What else do you guys have floating around?
Well, we will have a bounce house, which we're really excited about because I know the kids love that, either when they're waiting for someone to get done or while they're just hanging around. We do awards about 9:30, so there is a little bit of time in between, depending on how fast you are. You might have a little bit of lag time. We have some squencher this year at the finish line if you are not overheated, but just, little electrolytes, a little calories for you. We'll have snacks again, granola bars, bananas, those types of things. We are also going to try face painting this year, so hopefully that goes well. We have some kids we're recruiting that will be doing that. We try to get high school kids involved with volunteering too. For Silver Cord hours, they're out there. They can certainly do that.
Awesome. Let's see. So we haven't mentioned when this is or how people register yet. You guys know when it is? You're just going to show up when your mom tells you, right?
I think it's May 6th.
It is May 6th, yep. And how do people register? Oh, Daphne, this one's you.
We do have we have a Race for the Schools website, and there's all kinds of links there. You can we have a paper form. You can pick one up at school if you're a student, or we have them at the administration center, that 2900 Mulberry. We have them at the Muscatine Community Y. You can register online at getmeregistered.com. It's just Muscatine Race for the Schools. It's pretty easy to get to.
Yep. And there's a link in the
right.
Facebook post.
Oh, good. Thank you. And so, but if you are confused or you can't find a registration, definitely get a hold of me. I'm at the administration center. My name's Daphne. I'll be glad to email you one or get you the link so you can register online.
Can they register the day of?
Yes. We do have something a little bit different this year. We have a group discount. So if you have 5 or more people that you register, it could be anybody. If you have a family of 5, if you have 5 friends, if you want to register your whole class, which I've encouraged the teachers to do, you get a discount, 10%. So that is up until race day. The day of the race, we don't offer the discount just because if you wait till race day to register, it's a pretty busy day, and we like to get all that done ahead of time. Especially with the chip timing, the sooner we get people registered, the easier it is to get you hooked up with a timing chip, and it just makes things easier on race day. But we do have a discount if you want to get a group together.
Awesome. Well, guys, is there anything else? So to sum this up real quick, we've got 10 years of Race for the Schools, of which you guys have done some. You didn't pull them all off, right? It's going to be May 6th. And what time do you guys start?
The Muskie Mile's at 8 o'clock and the 5K's at 8:30.
Gotcha.
Because they are back to back, we do the mile first. We want to give you a few minutes to cool off and get ready to go. But, and like I think we said, it's at the high school, right in front. The start-finish line will be right by the big M window.
Yep.
So.
And then to register, it's Muscatine racefortheschools.org, which again, there's a link in the Facebook post. Is there anything else big you guys want to say?
If you don't know what a racing chip is, it's like this little chip that you can put on your shoe or any other part of your clothing, and it makes it so at the start of a race there's usually a big line. So if you're at the end of the line and the timer starts, it could take you 1-2 minutes to get across it. So what the racing chip does is once you cross the line, it starts your time. So it'll get an accurate time of how fast you are instead of when the clock starts.
You know what? I just thought of something. So these chips aren't very heavy, right?
No. Actually, you can barely tell they're there.
So what if we did this? I'll register, and I'll just pin my chip on you, and you take it for me.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
That's the only way. I'll bet I can beat Wyatt that way. Well, guys, thank you very much for stopping in. And go
I would just like encourage everyone out there to like try the race for the school. Maybe you'll like it and want to do it again.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a great day, and even if you don't want to run, come out. There's plenty to do. I don't even know how many people there were there last year, but a ton. So stop out May 6th at the high school and watch some people go to town.
Yeah, be good. Thank you.
Definitely, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
And we will be right back with Fire Island Robotics.
Okay, guys, we've been through a lot together. We all know sometimes it gets hard, but it's
fun.
okay to not feel okay. You know what helps? A good book or going for a walk. Not now, Fred. But what really helps is to talk to someone. Because to take care of each other, you gotta take care of you. If you need to talk to someone, your doctor will listen. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
We just don't work out in a single plane of motion.
We've all been through a lot together. And along the way, you'll find out who really cares for you and who you can trust. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens in life. Like those days when the amazing happens. Or those days that are really, really hard. That's why you need someone like Unity Point Health. Because when it comes to your health, you gotta have someone you can trust. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
Hi.
Super long. Welcome back, and we have they're laughing at me. I don't even know why they're laughing at me. I think it's just because I'm old. We have the Fire Island Robotics team with us, and last year, about this time, you guys were here. I remember because it was Greg Bach interviewed you guys, and I remember sitting over there. I thought he was going to fall off the chair a couple times. Luckily, I have more balance than he does, so I'm usually pretty good on the chair, so we should be fine. But if you guys could take a quick second, introduce yourselves, maybe tell how long you've been with the team, and then we'll kind of dive into what you guys are doing.
I'm Luda. I've been with the team for about 2 years now.
I'm Hannah, and I've also been with the team for about 2 years now.
I'm Hayden, and I just started a few months ago.
Yep.
I'm Ethan, and I've been with the team for 6 years now.
My name is Chris Hoffman. I'm with Stanley Consultants, and I'm the lead coach. I've been coaching robotics for 9 years, and this team for 7 years since inception.
Awesome. Okay, so could somebody explain what, I think people have a concept of like what robotics is in general, but could you kind of give them an idea of what a robotics team does and what a competition looks like?
Okay, so competitions every year are different, like completely different. We have a new game every year, but for an overall, robotics is basically you get to build a robot every season for whatever game they create. There's a kickoff day and really a lot of different stuff we do during the season. We have prototyping days, we have days where we're pre-scouting and doing different things. That's just depending on whatever area you're like focusing in when you go to robotics, because there's so many different areas to actually work in. We made a whole pyramid, to like dissect the. Do you remember that? To dissect the different like areas that everybody would be going into, and if somebody just doesn't like something, they go into a different part of it. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so this year we actually started doing like sub-teams instead of just robotics as a whole. So there's 5 different sub-teams. Yeah, so there's scouting, there's the actual building of the robot. We have graphic design now, which is new this year. We have programming, and then what was the last one? Business. That's new too. Yeah, do you want to talk about the actual competition?
Yeah, so competitions are different every year. It's kind of like one year you're playing football and then the next you're playing soccer. The rules completely change and your objective completely changes every year, which is really challenging, but it's really good. And it keeps, the point of this is to keep new teams, it's easier to get into. So this year, the goal is you've got like these cones, traffic cones, and you've got these cubes. You've got to place them in different points on one side of the field, and you pick them up on the other side of the field. So it's really challenging. This year is a really simple game, but it's almost deceptively simple because there's so many different things you can do with it and how efficient you can be.
So I'm picturing battle bots.
So this is not BattleBots.
Now, but here's the thing. You notice the instant grin on all of their faces when I said about. So, but is BattleBots like the pros for you guys?
So it's not related at all.
No, I know.
BattleBots isn't related at all. I think it'd be kind of cool to get into someday, but it's not like it's completely no contact. We have a sticker on our robot that says it's not BattleBots because some teams tend to forget that it's not, and it gets a little bit aggressive, but hopefully not too aggressive.
Hopefully not too. So I noticed there was a scouting team. Are any of you on that? So is that like espionage?
I don't know what that means.
Espionage, like spy work? Like
Yes,
you're like going out and
exactly.
spying on all the other teams? Okay,
Yes,
that
it's
would be fun.
basically that. So I'm the scouting captain this year, and basically before competitions we do pre-scouting, which is basically we just stalk their team and what they've been doing this past few years and be like if they're a good team.
I feel
or
like
not.
you shouldn't come out here announcing that you're going to go do that.
Hey, I mean, it's got to be done, honestly. And then at the competitions, we have scouts in the stands, 6 at all times. We have tablets that they have like a little form to complete, and they watch every single match and they write down what the robot's good at. And for example, this year it's how many cones and cubes they're scoring. And then we also have pit scouts at the actually it is the last day of the competition because there's alliance selection where the top 8 teams get to form teams to pick an alliance and then go on to the finals because that entire team will end up winning the competition. So we go down to the pits and we talk to like the best teams and like kind of like sell a robot to be like, this is why you should pick us to form your alliance. And we actually had an amazing opportunity to actually be a captain at our last competition, and so I had the opportunity to like actually form an alliance.
So anytime there's espionage, there's counter espionage, right? So do you guys put out like false information about your bot? Do you put out like little like false trails of information to lead people down, like so maybe they think your robot's left-handed but it's really right-handed?
Okay, so that's actually an issue sometimes. The thing you don't want to be doing is that because it's pretty easy for other teams because everybody's pretty much scouting. So they'll be able to see that you're lying about your robot.
But how does that matter?
Well, if you aren't going to have a great robot and you're lying about it being really good and all this stuff, you're not really going to get picked. Teams aren't going to like you.
Wouldn't you want to go the other way, though? If you want to win, wouldn't you sandbag? Wouldn't you like tell them, oh, our robot's horrible, and it's really like super awesome?
No.
They're all thinking like, could that work?
No.
Could that work?
So, okay, when I'm one of the drive team members, so I'm part of like actually driving the robot, and drive teams talk to each other. In the game, there's 3 robots for each team. There's 2 teams, and so you're in an alliance. And in the alliance, you need your teams to work together. So in order to work together, you kind of need to know what's going on with the robot, what's happening. We've had teams that like kind of lie to us before, and then when we played with them, it was very obvious that they were lying about it, and it made us not want to work with them in the future.
Right.
So they had those kind of teams don't really get picked as much.
Gotcha.
So
can you start forming the alliances before you go? Like, do you know who all is going to be there?
we know who's going to be there. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so that's why we do pre-scouting, is to know what teams we're going to go up against. But it's kind of hard. I mean, we can get an idea in our head, like, that'd be awesome if we got picked by them because it's like a really good team. But especially for our first competition we went to, most of them haven't gone to a competition yet, so it's hard to see how they're doing for the season.
Gotcha. So you guys have had your first competition,
Yes.
regionals. How'd you do at regionals?
Awesome. I mean, like, we won one of our regionals, and we have first time we've ever done that for this team. It's been around for 7 years.
Except
So.
for the first year.
No, we never won a regional.
Never won?
Never won.
Oh, that's just
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone else want to talk about? You've been here for a long time. Talk about how it's like.
Yeah, so it was really cool. I wasn't here for the first year when we got to go to Worlds for our Rookie All-Star Award, which was we were the highest seeded rookie team. But I was here last year when we got the Engineering Inspiration Award, which sent us to Worlds, and that was for our outreach in the community. But this is the first year that we've ever won a competition, and it was really special for me because I was talking to my dad before the season. I was like, I'm trying to figure out, some way to make my senior year special and leave some sort of an impact. So I think it was really cool to actually win a competition, and then be an Alliance captain in the second, which is only the second time I think we've been an Alliance captain. So it was really, really cool for me.
Awesome. So on the graphic design side, we haven't talked about that much yet. So what all are you responsible for?
So a big thing at the competitions is all the teams will have little pins, little buttons, and so the theme for this year was Charged Up. So I made a themed pin because last year they had ones with the gears for the theme. So I made this year's theme pin, and we do a lot of stuff. We do like stickers, so we just make a lot of like memorabilia stuff to hand out at competitions mostly.
So you're swag central, right?
Social media, yeah.
Yeah, so you're in charge of swag and all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
That's our role too. So like I get it. That's the fun stuff. Like I'd let them go do that. That's fine. Maybe let me drive, get me some goggles and some gloves. I'm good to go. She doesn't think I'm serious. I'd totally do that. I used to fly radio-controlled airplanes, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I can do it. I'd probably absolutely destroy your robot, but that's beside the point. So, Chris, what's it like for you working? You've done this for a long time. You've obviously gotten good at it. So, what's it like for you working with these kids all the time?
Yeah, so it's fantastic to work with the students. I have to give all the credit to the mentors. So we have over a dozen mentors that have volunteered significant amounts of time. We practice 4 days a week. We practice 2.5 hours in the evening, 3 nights a week, and from 10 to 4 on Saturdays. And these mentors, come from industry, and they bring their knowledge, and they just bring a vast amount of opportunities to these students to learn about how the business world works and how to build things, and it's phenomenal. So all the credit really goes to them. I'm sort of an organizer type person, so I've just been trying to keep the whole thing organized and keep it flowing. And we're so grateful to all of our sponsors, Hy-Vee being one, and so Hy-Vee's been with us forever. So we've been at this for 7 years, like I said, and before that 2 years we were doing smaller robots. And if you don't mind, I've got a list of sponsors here.
Absolutely.
I'd love to share because I can never, the list keeps growing, which is great, but I can never remember them all. So as I said before, Hy-Vee, obviously the school district, Stanley Consultants. I do work at Stanley Consultants for the last 3 years, but Stanley's been supporting the team way before I was working at Stanley. H&I, Kent Corporation, John Deere, Bear, the Black Pearl Cafe, some other organizations in town, Musco Lighting, Carver Pump, some out-of-town organizations, BAE Systems, Helmuth Repair out of Kelowna, American Water Jet out of Columbus Junction, also here in town, Carver Pump, Musco, I said that before, Midwest, One Bank, Hoffman Inc., CBI Bank and Trust, Phelps, just tons of local support, and we're just really excited to have all that local support, and allows us to keep going. A lot of teams around the world, not just the country, kind of fell apart during COVID year. You know, they lost momentum, they lost sponsors, and our sponsors stuck with us, and we continued to meet, you know, throughout COVID, obviously in a safe manner and so forth. So we've just been happy to continue to survive and thrive. These students are doing amazing things.
So what does a robot look like? Like, what roughly is this year's robot? Like, if you had it sitting here on the table, what would we see? And Chris has been showing some pictures, I assume, of your last competitions and stuff, but like, how would you guys describe this thing?
So I'm the manufacturing lead, a sub-team lead of the team, so I'm kind of involved with the building of the robot and the manufacturing of the parts. Unfortunately, it's not like a Lego kit. There are no kits for these robots. So we build a lot of the parts custom. We either go out to businesses and use some of their machinery, or we use ours. We have our robot this year has, with its bumpers on, it's 31 inches wide and 33 inches long.
Okay.
It's 4'5" and 7/8" because 4'6" is the limit. So we're really cutting it close there, and it weighs right now 117 pounds. So it wouldn't fit on the table.
I don't know. That's 1.25 inches. Fine. I can stand on this thing.
Well, maybe it would.
I'll let you. You know what? I think that's a challenge. You guys have to try and build a robot, and I got to try and build a table for it to stand on.
Might have to take you up on that one.
After the competition, bring it in. Let's see what we got. And roll it around. I mean, because I got wheels too. Yeah, we don't mess around here at the Muscatine Today show. You guys would be impressed with our handyman skills, something like that. So, how many kids do you guys have on the team?
We have 30 kids on the team.
30? Gee, Christmas, that's a lot. How do you keep 30 high school kids doing the same thing? I mean, I feel like that would be like herding cats.
Well, I'm going to answer that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to answer that question by telling a quick story. Last year, we had someone from one of the local companies come to visit, and they came partway into our practice, and me and some of the other mentors were standing and talking to this person who was a first-time visitor. And after we've been talking about 15 minutes, he says to me, like, what's going on here? I mean, like, you're standing here talking to me for 15 minutes, and these students are just off doing work. And we're like, yeah, that's the way it is. It's a student-run team. And so they know that they have work to do. And fortunately, now that we've been doing this several years, other older students, right, that have been doing it, we have a startup meeting at the beginning of practice, and each person says what they're planning on working on. And so everyone knows what everyone else is working on, and they go if they don't have something to do, and they help with what's going on. And so that's the way it happens. And obviously we don't have every student there every day, and not every student travels with the team. Some aren't, that into it. But yeah, we're impacting 30 students or more. So
that's awesome. So I guess the biggest thing is you guys won regionals. You've got Worlds coming up. When is that? Next week? Oh, I thought it was like a little bit. So when do you leave?
Yeah, we'll leave on Tuesday next week. The competition starts on the 19th, so we'll be making the drive to Houston, Texas on Tuesday, get most of the way there on Tuesday the 18th, and then the competition is from the 19th through the 22nd, and then driving all the way back on that Sunday.
Wow, that's jam-packed. We'll maybe have to dial in. We can do a remote interview with you guys. Would that be cool? Maybe one morning we'll see what you guys are doing and have you just zip in. Sound good?
Sounds great.
And well, good luck and keep it up. I know I may be a little off base sometimes, but you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. And we're always happy to watch what you guys are doing. It's a blast. So.
Well, again, we're just so supportive of all the support from the community over the years. When we got started, we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into, but there's been a lot of success from the beginning, and it's because of the mentors, the students, and all the support from the community.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much for stopping in. We'll figure out a time where we can buzz in with you guys next week and try not to interrupt your time too much. But thanks for stopping in. Muscatine, we will see you tomorrow.